I finally heard Scorpions with their song Still Loving You. Many people were absolutely flabbergasted that I did not know them, and probably rightly so, because today's song, my second ever time hearing this band, will be Wind of Change. Easily the most requested song by them I received in the comments, and the YouTube video here has 1.1 billion views. It's estimated to have sold over 14 million copies, making it one of the best-selling singles of all time. I am ashamed to say I've never heard of it. It was released in 1991 and is apparently very much considered to be a unifying song, tightly connected to the very significant political events of the time, the fall of the Berlin Wall, the Iron Curtain, the dissolution of the Soviet Union. On the screen now are the lyrics, definitely hopeful and forward-thinking about the future after the drastic changes that are to come. A really interesting period of history, especially for someone like me who was not alive at the time. Oh, that is the start. Interesting chord choice there. Very cool whistling, huh?
Follow the Moskva down to Gorky Park, listening to the wind of change. An August summer night, soldiers passing by, listening to the wind of change. The world is closing in.
Yeah, it's, well, if you've seen my channel before, you know I'm going to discuss the music and why perhaps it makes us feel the way it does. And I'm just thinking in my head, I'll talk about it in a bit, but musically, there's not that much to it that makes me go, wow, or, oh, I understand why this song is so famous. But to completely flip that on its head, and this is why it's very important to understand that music theory, you know, it helps us to understand music at its core, to be able to explain what's happening. But ultimately, music is about the emotions it invokes in us, how it makes us feel. And immediately, this is a song that there's just something about it. I was getting goosebumps in my arm, my body's kind of tingling. The video as well, extremely poignant. I always find it so interesting when they include, you know, real footage from decades past. So look, we're going to do our first pause now. I had much more difficult than usual copyright battles with my last Scorpions video. Pauses like this not only help with copyright issues, potentially stop my video from being taken down, but also gives me some time to discuss what we've heard so far. So if you don't like the pauses, then maybe my video is not for you. So also, actually, because the context of this song is, I imagine, very important, after this reaction, I will be watching a 5-minute interview with the singer Klaus Meiner called Why I Wrote Wind of Change, in which I imagine he'll be talking about why he wrote this song.
I was not thinking about this. Could be.
No, I want to watch that again. That's funny. So if you want to see that with me as well, then the link to that will be in the pinned comment. Okay, the obvious thing for me to start with is the lyric painting. When I say lyric painting, I mean how the words relate to the music, or vice versa. The first time he sings the words wind of change, change is the key word here.
Listening to the wind of change.
We had chordal instrumental in the background, like synths holding down notes sustained, but as soon as he starts singing Winds of Change, suddenly the guitar becomes plucked, arpeggiated. Also, let me get the keyboard out. The only chords that we've heard in this song so far, once he started singing, are... That's all, but then on Change, we suddenly get new chords. Very subtle, but also very obvious lyric painting when we think about it. Just before that, on the line, he was saying, down to Moskva, down to Gorky Park.
Down to Gorky Park.
the huskiness of his voice, the hoarseness of it, it almost sounds like there are multiple layers of sound, essentially. This is so different to when he started singing in My Only Other Scorpions experience, Still Loving You. It was the complete opposite. It was so smooth, high up. I immediately thought of other such artists or bands of the time.
This incredibly high chest voice reminds me of a plethora of other bands from the 80s, such as Toto. I recently did a video on their song Rosanna, or even like Supertramp,
whose voices are the epitome of anti-hoarseness. They're just smooth. So we can immediately see in this song how Klaus is choosing to sing differently. How analytical do we want to get? Do we want to associate this choice of singing with a husky voice with the subject matter, the context of the time, the grief and suffering so many people would have been going through? I don't know. You tell me, but I think perhaps that's a fair assumption. Let's listen to the next line.
August summer night, soldiers passing by.
The hoarseness never leaves his voice. It makes me think as though he's been shouting or is run down or just very tired with everything. And there has to be some sort of change if he is to go on living. That's why this song exists, perhaps. I may be completely wrong, of course, but it's just very interesting, especially considering his singing style in Still Loving You. At the end of this phrase,
Listening to the wind of change.
we get added instrumentation, so gradual layering of things. The music, although the chords are the same as before, it's changing inherently, fundamentally, just because of what we're hearing. And what comes after this? Whistling, like we opened with. That's not the most common thing in music. I feel there's a certain informality to whistling, you know, like someone just walking down the street, whistling along, very chilled vibes. No lyrics as well when you're whistling, so they're not telling us what we should be thinking about or feeling. Whistling is pure melodic substance whose message I think we kind of need to make up for ourselves. Very interesting song so far, very subtle, quite reserved in many regards, but often these can be the more emotional songs. Let's carry on.
The world is closing in. Did you ever think that we could be so close, like brothers? The future's in the air, can feel it everywhere. I'm blowing with the wind of change. Take me to the magic of the moment on a glory night, where the children of tomorrow dream away in the wind of change. Walking down.
Yeah, this is a case where I think the video greatly enhances the music, and it makes you think, doesn't it? There were these scenes of violence, you know, warfare, explosions going on, and they seamlessly merged into them on stage performing. Was it fire or flares on the stage or something? People with the little firelighters. And the song itself seems like a calm song. It seems like a pacifistic song. So I just find it really interesting how to bring about change, often with an end goal of peace, there is just so much violence behind it that really drives it, that, you know, arguably is very necessary. Well, second pause here, just a few things I'd like to say. I really hope my video doesn't get blocked and I have to put a copyright block so we can't even see the video here on YouTube. I won't know until I've tried to upload it, so we'll see. It's the little things. There was a really nice touch where the first time I believe we get some vocal harmony.
So close, like brothers.
On the word brothers, just one word with harmony on it. Nothing else has harmony on it. Again, lovely lyric painting. Two people singing, brothers. Not necessarily paternal brothers, but brothers in belief. Brothers in hope, camaraderie, you know, brothers in arms, that kind of thing. Very clever and selective choice of where to have harmony. They could have had it on any other lines. The melody is not really quick or rapid, so of all the melodies I've heard, this is definitely one where harmony would or could suit it. I also forgot to mention earlier, and I've been listening out for it, but there's this effect that we're hearing, kind of like synthetic voices. Not sure if they are synthetic or not, but by today's standards, they could be. You hear in the background there the sustained chords. It reminds me of a song I absolutely love that would have been about 7 years before this, Drive by The Cars. And I personally think that there's something maybe a bit more relatable in hearing human voices in the background, no matter how subtle or synthetic they might sound. Really interesting. And this is where your choice of instruments and everything that you use is much more important than people might think. On to the chorus. There's the explosion going into the performance moment I was talking about. It's a catchy chorus. There's really nothing complex about it. Even the bass line. Bum, 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 bum. That bass line is just outlining the chords we heard. If you look at the note letters there, C, G, D, G, C, they're the chords that we get. These two same chords I spoke about before, very much present and making up most of it, but there's another chord in there now as well. Again, a slight change. For a song about change, you might wonder how much change are you going to put in the music? How closely do you want to relate the words that you're talking about to the musical elements that you're putting in there? I think what Scorpions have done here is a real good job of making the song not seem like there's much change in there. And when the change comes, it's subtle but noticeable. And I personally think that this song is supposed to be relatable, and I think generally speaking, the more complicated a song gets and the more intricacies you have, the less relatable it can become to a lot of people. And we do have vocal harmony now here. So prior to the chorus, the only harmony we had was on the word brothers. Now we have a pretty sustained harmony, consistent harmony. And I think harmony naturally, because it's more voices than just one, kind of represents camaraderie in a way, unification of people, that kind of thing. Yeah, cool song, cool song. Let's carry on. If you enjoy these videos or find them helpful, please consider supporting me. Patreon has a bunch of exclusive benefits, behind the scenes videos, additional reaction content, Q&A videos, and more. For a one-time donation, you can donate me a hot chocolate at the Buy Me a Coffee link, or become a YouTube member for these groovy emojis and membership badges. And a huge thank you to these lovely people on the screen now.
Walking down the street, distant memories are buried in the past forever. I follow the Moskva down to Gorky Park, listening to the wind of change. Change blows straight into the face of time, like a storm wind. Then we ring the freedom bell for peace of mind. Play your ballad like I sing what my guitar wants to sing.
Okay, I think we might be going into a guitar solo now, following on from the lines of what my guitar wants to say. That's what they just said, right?
Like I sing what my guitar wants to sing.
And another interesting point about change. We're changing from human voices that, of course, we've been hearing before, to now letting the guitar speak. What have they done to make this even more of a change? They've put a new chord in there that we've not heard so far. The chords that we've heard so far in this song. But now the guitar chord here, we can just hear how different that is, how it gives this feeling of something new. It's like, okay, we've done enough with humans and their words. We've had whistling as well, humans without words. Now let's have an instrument without words. The section before this, by the way.
The wind of change blows straight into the face of time.
We can hear it's a different section musically for many reasons. Singing's a bit lower, things seem a tiny bit heavier in a way. The video as well is very kind of rock star-esque, looking at them. Very cool, very, very cool to see. But the chords in this section, unlike before in the verse where you have... Now, it's the same chords, but just reordered. And then... And see how it's rising up? It's almost like a reverse of the verse where we started with. But now we're finishing with it. Into a guitar solo. I'm curious to see this guitar solo. So let's check it out. It will be highly embarrassing if there is not really a guitar solo here and I've just been talking about that prematurely. Wow. There are those synthy voices in the background I was talking about.
When you look at it from up here, you get an appreciation of our world is a beautiful place and we do need to take care of it.
Ooh, foreboding ending. I'll leave that to the comments to see what we think of that. Really cool though. I mean, there wasn't too much new musically with the last part of that song, but I can only imagine how mental it must have been to have been alive at that time and seeing all the news stories, seeing the Berlin Wall falling. In this video, we had clips from everywhere, you know, obviously Berlin, Russia, Romania. Here in this little clip, I mean, we can't really see clearly, but what's that? Canada, Hungary, Latvia, South Korea, USA. I think that was Germany there as well. Yes, I know my flags. And just for this ending, everything calms down. The guitar, very rhythmic. The whistling, as I was listening to that, I was thinking it's almost like a signal for the listener to, you know, chill, step back, relax a bit, let's get calm. Maybe that's just me who thinks that, but starting and ending with whistling is definitely, yeah, I don't know, in my mind, it's almost like a signal. And now I'm going to go and watch an interview with Klaus Meine himself on why he wrote this song. I'm sure there'll be some really interesting things in there. At least I hope there will. So if you want to join me on that one, once again, the link is in the pinned comment. And if not, well, thank you for making it this far, as always, for watching. If you were one of the people who recommended this song, thank you. I am no longer one of probably the few people on earth who have never heard this song. If you enjoyed and you want to help promote this video, help with the algorithm, that kind of stuff, then give the video a like and please leave a comment. Other song recommendations if you want me to do more Scorpions. And if you don't want to leave any words, well, let's go with an emoji. How about a scorpion? Like you see on the screen now, that would really, really help a lot. And I will see you in the next one.